your studio records got outshined by some of your live records.
Oh, totally. What we were doing live was so full of adrenaline and passion.
Were there people that were in parallel to you that you felt like, this band is great, we got to write a better song?
You see Led Zeppelin on stage, the riffs are undeniable and they look like rock gods.
Anybody can write a song, but it doesn't make you a songwriter. That's a craft you work at.
I'm curious why, as young as you're, 12 years old now? How come you know this stuff?
Before we start with the music, just introduce yourselves.
I'm Stevie Nicks. Paul Stanley here.
And I'm Richard Simmons.
So I'm going to play some songs.
Okay.
And you're going to tell me who the artist is.
Okay.
When did you guys hear that for the first time?
I had a transistor radio. Those don't exist anymore. You carried around this little box, and I heard that there was some new phenomenon called the Beatles in England. And at that time, in most of the pop charts were things like blue, navy blue, I'm as blue as I can be.
'Cause my steady boy said, "Shit, boy, and join the Navy."
And all of a sudden, I heard this thing coming out that I thought was going to burst the speaker.
Yeah.
And I was like, that has to be the Beatles. It has to be. It's like nothing else that was on the radio. It couldn't be contained by this little speaker. That was the Beatles. And then I just waited for Ed Sullivan, which was a show that was on Sunday nights, 8 p.m. He was the first person to bring the Beatles to the States.
Close your eyes and I'll miss you.
And I was absolutely mesmerized. I just watched it. I mean, I had seen Elvis and Eddie Cochran and all these, people who led up to the Beatles, but the Beatles, that was a game changer for me.
You were waiting for that moment.
Well, that's when it hit me. The Ed Sullivan Show. Before that, I hadn't heard of it. Blue Navy, Blue Diane Renee.
Yes. And Norman.
Written by John D. Loudermilk. Sung by, wait a minute. Norman, oh, Norman, I love Joe. Sue Thompson.
Absolutely. There you go.
Joey asked me for a date. He wanted to take me out to skate. I told Joey I would have to make arrangements
not
with
arrangements.
Norman.
Arrangements with Norman.
Norman is my only one. Ba, 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 ba.
So that's the shit that was on the radio prior to the Beatles. The Beatles were like a smack in the face and a wake-up call of what rock and roll could be.
Was there stuff that you guys liked, though, before the Beatles that you would hear? That
I did. I cut my teeth on Chubby Checker.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
So good.
Come on, everybody. I won the twist contest at PS 145.
Also, before Chubby Checker was Hank Ballard.
She's so right.
And Hank Ballard.
And the Midnighters.
Yes, and they were the template for Chubby Checker. It sounds just like him. And they did...
the original twist.
Come on, baby. Let's do the twist.
Sounds just the same. And then Ernest Evans comes along, and since we had Fats Domino, Dick Clark thought he resembled him somewhat, and that gave way to
Fats
Chubby
Domino,
Checker.
Chubby Checker.
Chubby Checker, Fats Domino.
On Cameo Parkway. On Parkway Records, written and produced by Cal Mann and Dave Appel. Don't fuck around. We know all this stuff.
Good names. Good artist names.
Well, Fats Waller. And in the blues, you had Blind Lemon. You had all those very colorful names, very descriptive names. You also had that in the Mob, very descriptive names.
Same names. Fats Domino was also Mobster.
There you go.
Probably.
Oh, come on.
Come on.
We covered it.
I know.
Castanets. So strings, Jack Nietzsche did strings, and you had just multitudes of players. You would have 2 or 3 guitar players, a couple of bass players, timpani players. That was the Crystals doing Then She Kissed Me.
Phil Spector.
Yeah. I mean, everybody knows even today. You know the Christmas album, the Phil Spector Christmas album. So he created a sound, the wall of sound, that so many people after that. There's actually another group, the Walker Brothers, that copied that sound. And Phil Spector, man,
The
God
sun
bless
ain't
him.
gonna shine anymore.
And, you know, make it easy on yourself.
Oh, that follow.
And make it easy on yourself. Make it
And who originally did Make It Easy on Yourself? And had a hit with it.
I didn't know that.
Jerry Butler.
and make it easy on yourself. Make it easy on
Sounds, yes, and it's fantastic.
Walked up to me and she asked me if I wanted to dance.
So it's not Wall of Sound, but there's elements that you're borrowing, but at its core is this song, this brilliant
It's
song.
a great song, and somehow we managed to fuck it up, you know. Really, you know, there's certain things that can be redone
Yeah.
and given their own twist, so to speak. And then there's us doing Then She Kissed Me, which, you know, it was misbegotten.
Well, I got to tell you, the interesting cultural reflection of the times is, I want to hold your hand. That's it? Don't you want to mount me in public or so? No, I want to hold your hand. Or he walked up to me and asked me if I wanted to dance. So it was so, I mean, we all did the same thing that mammals do, and ever since we crawled out of caves, but there was an etiquette.
But there's this implied that almost makes it more scintillating, this implied sexuality.
I think so.
You know, when I first heard the Shirelles, Will You Still Love Me Tomorrow?
Will you still love me tomorrow?
The idea of that song basically is if I spend the night with you, are you going to still love me tomorrow? But it was done in a romantic kind of way, and a lot of those songs as teenagers had this romantic side to them that it wasn't blatant.
So Carole King was, I believe,
Carol Klein,
19.
Originally
Yeah.
Neil Sedaka's girlfriend, and his first hit was "Oh Carol," written after Carole King, Carol Klein.
Oh, Carol, I am but a fool.
19 when she wrote Will You Still Love Me Tomorrow?
Yeah, amazing. Jerry Goffin, Carole King.
And a mom, too, who had the baby in the studio with her.
Wait, what's that story?
She and Jerry had a baby, and they would go up to the Brill building. She'd be at the piano, and the baby would be in the bassinet. And she's writing, banging out at 19.
Well, you were competing with people in the other booths. You know, Don Kirshner, Scree Gems, all these people had Barry Mann and Cynthia
Yeah.
Weil. They're writing You've Lost That Love and Feeling. Then Carole King and Jerry Goffin have to come up with the sequel. Then Ellie Greenwich and Jeff Barry are coming up with the next. So it was a lot of competition.
They're just in the hallway
in
down from
cubicles,
each other.
right down.
The amount of great songs by just a group of people in such a short time is unbelievable.
What was that for you guys? Were there sort of people that were in parallel to you that you felt like this band is great, they're putting pressure, we got to write a better song? Or is there anything like that, or did it feel very much like you were in your own universe?
I think we always understood that the most important thing is the song.
Yeah.
You can put smoke bombs, you can have lasers and everything else, but you have to start with a song.
Yeah.
And I think our heroes, my heroes, were songwriters. The Brill Building, those were the people that I aspired to be like. When I was 15, I was at the Brill Building or in 1650 Broadway with my guitar, and whoever would listen to my songs, God bless them. You know, the most important thing to me was not a song as a vehicle to jam on. It had to have an intro, a verse, a bridge, a chorus, a hook. It was called a hook because it grabbed you. So there wasn't other bands per se, other than obviously the Beatles. And there were bands other than them, but the Beatles really were the ultimate in terms of material.
Still are.
I feel inside. I can't explain. Certain kind. Can't explain. I feel hot and cold. Can't explain.
By the way,
Yeah, come on.
By the way, the intro, very similar to the Nas, that had their own song. Ba, ba, da. Then the riff. Ba, da, 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 da.
Naz were Todd Rundgren's group in Philadelphia. Very similar, called Open My Eyes. But Can't Explain.
Can't beat
Come
that.
on. I mean, it's
On a
the
12
Who.
string.
After they were originally the High Numbers, and they became the Who and led the whole mod scene. Awesome. I actually saw the Who in 69,
Where?
Fillmore East.
Wow.
And Roger Daltrey, I stole it from him. No, secret. He would swing that microphone, and I was in the balcony. I swear it almost hit me. I mean, so yeah, I just go, hell, I'm going to do this, and don't try it at home because you'll strangle yourself. Actually, one of the guys, the lead singer in the Scorpions, decided to try that. He saw me wrap the cord around my neck and then swing it the other way, and he's on stage. God damn it! I'm choking.
Did you get the German accent?
You got
there?
that little.
God damn it!
That was the best part.
Yeah. Scheisse.
They were probably watching you guys and listening to you
They
guys
were.
and saying like, let's bring that energy over
But
here.
let's be clear and honest about this. There isn't a band out there that includes the Beatles or Elvis or anybody who didn't look behind them and pick up bits and pieces to make up their own kind of puzzle. But just like chefs use the same ingredients as the hot dog guy on the corner, it's just how you use it to make your own concoction. So everybody, they're unique. They're about, yes, you've got that unique sound. Then when you look into it, you see the subatomic pieces from, that's a little bit of this and a little bit of that.
Is it a true story that when you guys first started, your studio records almost got outshined by some of your live
totally.
records, and that's what catapulted you
That's-
guys to another
well-
level? Why do you think that is?
Well, because what we were doing live was so full of adrenaline and passion. It was almost like going to a evangelical church of rock and roll. But our first 3 albums were very tame sounding, not because we wanted it, but because we didn't know how to make them sound like we sounded live. It wasn't until Kiss Alive that the floodgates just broke open. We did 3 albums. Those first 3 albums were done in 18 months because we wanted to succeed and futilely kept trying to capture what was live. And once we put out Kiss Alive, 500,000, 1 million, 2 million. It just took us to the heights that we spent the next 50 years at.
But this neighborhood isn't alien to us. We recorded our demos and everything, Electric Lady Studios, just a few blocks from here. And our first show was in a loft, 52 Bleecker Street, where they moved machinery. It was a factory during the daytime. They moved machinery out. We didn't have roadies or anything, so Peter Criss, our drummer, knew a printer downtown. We'd have posters printed up, and Paul and I and some of the other guys would go around at night when nobody was looking and put up posters promoting ourselves. I mean, these are our stomping grounds. We're both from Queens, Bayside, Jackson Heights. Where's your Forest Hills?
Yeah, Flushing, Kew Garden
Flushing.
Hills.
What a great name for a place to live, huh?
Yeah, what a toilet. No,
Where
it's
are
not
you
a
from?
toilet. It's
Flushing.
really nice.
My dad's from Bayside.
Oh, cool.
Yeah,
Bayside High.
at that same time.
It was so much better live than on record.
Yeah, when that album came out, I hated the cover.
Yeah.
Because they looked like housewives on the cover. And live, man, they just exuded this flamboyant,
Rockstar, yeah.
glittery rock and roll. Look, they weren't the best band in the world, but they really put it across. They were stars. The
coolest band, maybe.
We would see them in New York. They'd show up late. They'd never be on time. They'd tell jokes on stage. There was a camaraderie about them. And that's, I think, what you look for in bands is, boy, I wish I was a member of that club.
Yeah.
You know, you see these people interacting on stage. And the Dolls, they were the club that every other band and everybody in the audience wanted to be a member of.
We actually did some shows together. It didn't last long. We opened for them because they were around about a year before we were. We didn't last long. I think we may have done 3 shows together. That's it. And then after that, we exploded, and the Dolls did not.
I remember actually being at the Crystal Room, which was at the Hotel Diplomat, where everybody did shows off Times Square. And I ran into Sylvain. And I said to him innocently, but I had ulterior motives. I said, we should do some shows. We should play together. And he said, you'd kill us. You know, so he was pretty sharp.
Sadly, David Johansen passed recently.
Yeah.
I'm curious why a guy who's as young as what are you, 12 years old now? How come you know this stuff?
I'm 35.
Yeah, so why do you know this?
And I know this because of being in this neighborhood. We're right around the corner from CBGB, doing this show. Max's close to here.
Yeah, but
talking to people
CBGB's was
about,
more. No, CBGB's. Even back then, I knew that they play a different kind of rock than the rock that I like. It's not Anglophile rock with better musicians, and it was like college rock.
Yeah,
Tom Verlaine,
guys that
television.
Go like that.
Yes.
Yeah.
It never connected to me.
But Max's was
Max's
a
was-
sexy rock star rock.
Sexy.
And
Max's was more a fashion show.
Yeah.
And the Dolls and people like that wrote the soundtrack for the fashion show. But we actually saw a great band there and wound up taking them on tour. We saw a band called Cheap Trick. And we took them on tour with us because they were great. While everybody else was hanging out at Max's or the Mercer Art Center or CBGB's, we were rehearsing. We were the black sheep of the black sheep.
So to answer your question, why I know this stuff is being in this neighborhood and doing this show and sort of researching music history. What I think is particularly interesting is this period of time for music in New York City. There was so much happening, but so many of these bands didn't make it, and you guys come out of it.
I think what happened was what so many of these bands were doing had no relevance or connection to Middle America.
Yeah.
If you weren't in a big city, it was almost like an inside joke that you had to know. Whereas what we were doing, we were Anglophiles. We loved bands. We loved Slade. We loved the Stones, the Who, all these people. And I think what we were doing was much more universal. Yeah. It wasn't designed for a small clique of an area. Yeah. The Dolls were very, very much a New York band. And when you went into Ohio or into Indiana, it was lost. It was completely lost. We were going for something much more universal.
Middle America gave you Kansas and Styx and, a lot of bands that had successes. But when you look at them, they didn't get the stagecraft. There was a guy with a rabbi-length beard playing a violin in a band. You go, gee, I like that song. Then when you see them live, it just didn't connect like, these are rock stars. No, they weren't rock stars. They were musicians and wrote good songs. So you could, great bands like Doobie Brothers and stuff like that. But when you saw an English band, if you saw The Who live with the fringe jacket and all that stuff, you go, that's what a rock star looks like, not a guy with a beard playing a violin.
Jenny said when she was just
This is another one.
There was nothing happening.
That's that's just here.
Not at all.
Right? Like
typical. Yeah. I mean, you have Lou Reed and you have the Velvet Underground. And it just went over the heads of most people. It was very much suburban. It had its home, but people, once again, didn't relate. And quite honestly, it was more poetry than it was music. Yeah. I mean, as far as music, it sucked. I'm sorry. If you want to listen to Rimbaud, put to music or something like that, or Kerouac, great. But the music sucked. And that was the downfall of a lot of the bands that were going at that point. They were art, Tom Verlaine and television.
Yeah.
It was art, but
Yeah.
it's not enough to say something. You have to play something.
What about the Stooges?
Again, we did a show or two with the Stooges, and it's great to have commitment to what you're doing, but you need songs. I preferred the MC5.
Yeah.
I thought the MC5.
Kick out the jams,
Oh man.
Take out the jams, motherfucker!
And live, they were fiery.
But I think we
people-
both agree you cannot downgrade or say anything negative about Iggy's stagecraft.
Yeah.
His physicality on stage was unique. The peanut butter and the jumping on the broken glass. But as soon as he went out on stage, you forgot about the rest of the band. By the way, you forgot about the songs.
Yeah.
It's not about the song.
the Stooges, when I saw a photo of them, I want to hear these guys.
Yeah.
Or when I saw the cover of Raw Power or whatever, wow, that's amazing. I found a lot of that disappointing.
Yeah.
It was heartfelt, and they loved what they were doing, but it's kind of like the whole punk movement to me. It's great to have something you want to say, but it would also be great to play your instrument well.
Ramones?
I have mixed feelings because, by the way, we were on a Ramones tribute record, and you ran into one of the guys, Marky.
No, Johnny lived right down the street from
Yeah.
me. So he had said to me, we're doing this tribute album, and would you guys do it? And, would you do rock and roll radio? And we went in and pat us on the back. We did a kick-ass version, and he said to me, that's the way we wish we could have done it. So Ramones, yeah, I think interesting, kind of like a dichotomy. Interesting that when the Ramones broke up, Johnny never picked up a guitar again. Never picked up a guitar. The last Ramones show was the last time he picked up a guitar.
I agree with the notion of the people, for the people, by the people. So the Ramones get so much more credibility than, let's say, Chicago. Mm-hmm. But it's worth noting, good, bad, or otherwise, the masses didn't get it. They never played big arenas, never played stadiums. And the songs, I think they may have one gold record that Phil Spector did, one out of the entire career. Chicago, you can hate him or not, had 22 platinum records in a row. No, you don't care who's in the band and all that. And it comes down to songs.
Yeah.
I loved a lot of the punk bands and everything, but the energy, it wasn't the tunes. And then there are bands that don't look like rock stars, Steely Dan, with amazing songs, but live, it's disappointing. So it's difficult to find bands other than English bands who have it both. When you see Led Zeppelin on stage, the riffs are undeniable and they look like rock gods. And that's the complete package. American bands never had the complete package. One last comment, although I hate to stop because I love the sound of my own voice, and that is, out of New York, there's no other band of any style of music that ever got as big as we had. None ever played stadiums. None got even close. But people talk about the Ramones, Talking Heads, TV, and a lot of other ones. Of the people, for the people, by the people. They decide elections, and they decide who rises to the top echelons.
Of the people, for the people, by this people.
What did I say?
No, by this people.
Come on.
Oh my God.
People think that's the newer version. No, it's not. It proves the point that when you have the goods, when you have the songwriting, a new band can cover the stuff and get hits with it.
Except, to your point, it was a carbon copy. It came as close as possible, but there's nothing like Slade. I mean, we had Slade do some shows with us, and I first saw Slade at the Academy of Music on 14th Street. Absolutely mind-boggling. Noddy Holder was like a foghorn. That voice was just crazy. And when I saw him, he was wearing a top hat with mirrors all around it. And when the spotlights hit it, beams went out. And I went, that's so cool. Why don't I get a guitar and put fractured mirrors all over the front? And sure enough, that's, you know, this famous cracked mirror guitar that I use was because Noddy had that hat. Slade.
Interestingly, the lead songwriter in the band was not the guitar player.
Jim Leah.
It was Jim Leah, the bass player.
who was a violin player.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, it was like lightning. Everybody was frightening, and the music was soothing.
Interestingly,
That's sweet. But
Queen was influenced by Sweet.
Yeah.
There's a lot of Sweet songs with those incredible harmonies. And they were just Chinny Chap. Mike Chapman and Nicky Chin were the guys who wrote the songs and produced most of the Sweet hits until they went off and did Love Is Like Oxygen later on in their career. But they were, you know, they were fantastic.
But they didn't tour America enough, and that's why they didn't become as big. Those songs were undeniable. They were covered. People covered them. Even later on, when they had a quiet period, they came back with Love Is Like Oxygen
Love is like oxygen. You get so much.
and a few other things. The songwriting was solid. They looked great. The musicianship was great. But there's an undeniable difference in the look, especially in the look and the sound of English bands versus American bands. You could have Head East or any Midwestern band who would sell records and everything. Then you looked at the English bands, and it was undeniable.
Mark Bolan, originally Mark Feld, he originally had Tyrannosaurus Rex, which was more an acoustic guitar, and I can't remember the bongo players, the percussionist. And after that, it became T-Rex. And the background singers are Howie Kalin and Mark Volman, known as the Fluorescent Leech and Eddie. Those are those high voices.
Before then?
And before that, they were in the Turtles. But Mark Bolan, I mean, T-Rex. We had T-Rex on a show with us in Chicago at the Aragon Ballroom when he was a little past his prime, and he had a star that he laid down on, and it brought him up. Again, there's no disputing the swagger and the clothes and the vibe that all these people gave off. Would you rather listen to that or the Grateful Dead? Sorry, but I'll go with T-Rex for 10 points.
But also the choice when you listen to Bang a Gong. No, nobody has a clue what Bang a Gong means. Who cares? Yeah. They're cool words. You know, there's that slight sexuality and stuff, but you don't care what it means. It just sounds cool. But also the decision not to make big guitars by bop, bop. You know, they're just very slight kind of in the groove. Swagger.
What's the most important instrument in a rock and roll band?
Oh, it's guitar.
Guitar. Guitar is the messenger of rock and roll. Whether it was Eddie Cochran or Elvis Presley or any of their backup musicians, the guitar is the messenger of rock and roll.
Bass?
Yeah, bass is
Bass
cool.
is just a version of guitar, I guess.
Yeah.
Bass is part of the foundation, but I venture to say that the guitar leads everything.
Yeah.
By the way, I don't think a good guitar player means you can fly across a fretboard. You got to be able to hum or remember what you played. Clapton, before he sold out, sorry, I had a cough. In the beginning, Clapton was called Clapton is God, you know, Crossroads, where you can remember every lick he had. It was a melody you remembered. And in those days, he actually had a quote. They used to call him Clapton is God. And his quote was, it's more important, something like, it's more important to know what notes to leave out than to put into a solo. It's not about how many notes. So, Sunshine of Your Love, I can hum you.
Sing it. You want to sing along to it.
Every note.
The great solos are ones that are melodic, ones that you can actually sing.
Take a good
my smile looks out of place.
So good.
Oh man,
Come on.
I
We covered
remember, Smokey and the Miracles. I mean, it's amazing. This guy, Smokey Robinson, came out of the projects in Detroit, and on The Tears of a Clown, another song, he sings about Pagliacci.
Just like Pagliacci did. I try to keep my sadness in.
Just like Pagliacci did, I try to keep my sadness hid. He was so poignant in lyrics, his melodies. With my Soul Station band, I covered the song.
Look at my face. You see my smile.
Motown was so important, I think, to a lot of us, and the Beatles. I mean, Please Mr. Postman, all these songs. The roots of so much rock and roll is, the sound of teenage America, Tamla Motown.
Yeah, they were the best. That's who the Beatles were
Oh
looking
my
at
gosh,
and saying,
yeah.
like, let's go here. All right, last song. Because, and this one is really in honor of the New York Knicks.
And baby, you better believe I'm back in the New York groove. I'm back.
Russ Ballard wrote it.
Yes.
There's an original version that's exact copy of it. It was Eddie Kramer who produced, engineered some of our records, who worked with Ace on that, and he was the one that suggested cover the song. Ace didn't want to do it.
Yeah.
If you can play that original version, it'd be interesting to hear. It's very similar.
Not as good, though.
No, it's not. The vocal-
Doesn't have that Kiss
Hey.
swagger to it.
Ace,
Sometimes it's just
It was a
finding the
great-
right song to say, nah, we can
a
do a
great
better version.
vehicle for a performer or a singer, and that song is Ace.
Yeah.
I mean,
And also talking about the New York groove, Ace is New York.
And what's happening tomorrow?
Songwriters Hall of Fame.
Songwriters
Congratulations.
Hall of Fame.
Well deserved.
We're going to go to find out who's being inducted. Are we being? Oh, we're being inducted in the hall.
It's amazing, because again, you can have lasers and smoke bombs and everything else, but you've got to have a song.
center.
Without a song, you've got nothing. And we grew up loving songwriters and the craft. Anybody can write a song. There's enough of that out there, but it doesn't make you a songwriter. That's a craft you work at, and it's something that we emulated. And to be embraced by your contemporaries and by your peers and by the people who are up there, it's humbling. But I say at this point in my life, if you love me, let me know now. Don't put it in my obituary. Don't put it in a eulogy. Let me know. Come on. You love me? Let me hear it.
Love you.
Oh, awesome. Thank you. Thank you.
The Trackstar Podcast is a presentation of public opinion created by me, Jack Coyne, Kieran Coyne, and Henry Cornaros. Produced by Haley Sobel. Edited by Ryan Durgans. Theme and original composition by Kieran Coyne. Mixing by Devin Klein. Our agent is Joanna Orland at UTA. Thanks for listening. See you next Wednesday.